What is this clanging? Clanging at my manhole cover? This week on The Hapless Heroes.
All chaps are assless.
Hello and welcome to the Hapless Heroes podcast. My name is Dave and I will be your host and dungeon master for this evening. Let's start this evening the way we start every other evening by introing our cast, and we're going to start from my virtual left and go counterclockwise. We have Mike as Lord, Captain, and Dean, Quinn Southwind.
I always knew I owned a school.
And to his left, we have Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Where do I get my textbooks around here?
To her left, we have Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
All right.
And to his left, we have John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
It says not to open it, but in this place I don't trust that either.
And to his left, we have Francesco as the fabulous Felix Fizzlebottom.
I have a plan.
So as we left ourselves off last time, we are in the now drained basin of the mysteriously found again and quite abandoned Southwind Academy at Legredex.
Now, it's not just abandoned. We should clarify that we were transporting between planes and ran into the lighthouse of Legredex again.
You did not run into the lighthouse.
We kind of
ran into
the school.
Blasted through it.
You blasted into the school at a high rate of speed, leaving a tunnel of rock behind you.
We never confirmed that the lighthouse and the school were even in the same place to begin with.
Yes, that was not confirmed.
But I mean, am I foolish to assume that the school that we were in before was on the same plane of existence as Telduria?
That was also not confirmed.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
And seeing as how Felix got here by astrally projecting to just pointing into a random direction in space-time, it's entirely possible you guys are in a space outside of time.
Very Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
Or is that time outside of space?
I don't know.
It's the upside down.
Oh, there's that too, yeah. Something, tentacle monsters. We're not that kind of anime.
Yeah, but I guess before we can ask a lot of questions, there's that clanging that we keep hearing.
In this basin, this now drained basin of the academy, there is a manhole cover that says very clearly in Dwarven script, "Keep out, CS." And there's a loud clanging coming from in there.
Mind you, Jarrell, his divine sense did recognize that there was something desecrated nearby.
There is something desecrated nearby, although it is so close and so intense that you cannot tell where it is.
Right. So something desecrated nearby, and there's a manhole cover that says, "Do not open," literally. Well, in Dwarven.
No, it doesn't literally say "do not open." It says "keep out."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it semantically says "do not open."
Now, who do you suppose the CS means? I mean, Caesar Southwind clearly starts with an S, right? The C in the Tsar, right? The sea of the ocean, right?
Yes. Again, we can debate this later. Do we address the clanging? I can't interact with this thing.
Clang!
So, I'm really kind of working with you guys to maybe try to, lift it and like kill whatever bad thing is in there or something. I don't know. I mean, you guys are professionals. Come on, we do this all the time. Just open the thing.
Can Jarrell roll a history check to see what CS might stand for?
Yeah, it's real easy for an astral projected being to say, just open the manhole and see what the clanging is.
The literal world is falling apart around me where my real body is, okay? So let's not talk about stress. If I suddenly disappear, you know that something went horribly wrong. So I'm just trying to maybe let's move this along so that, I don't die a horrible, fiery death while you guys are sitting here debating the initials of a person who wrote this thing. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I was a little.
Sorry.
Jarrell's totally doing a history check.
See me.
I mean, Captain Southwind, it's your school. Wouldn't it be yours?
Yeah, but those aren't my initials.
And it's written in Dwarven.
Captain Southwind. It's written a lot of letters. That's true.
Yeah. Dave, can you confirm that I should roll a history check?
You can roll a history check if you so choose.
I don't know much about dwarves, but 13.
There's a lot of CSs.
Right.
I mean, do you have any idea how big the Stouthammer clan is?
Okay.
Well, Chuck Stouthammer might, he might be famous in some circles, but I don't know if that's going to show up on a history check.
Chuck!
Jarrell will look to Quinn. Captain, would you like for me to open this? It says not to.
Yes.
I feel like that's the hapless hero's stock in trade, is opening doors that say do not open.
I would like you to open it.
Can Jarrell use an athletics because it's a deadlift?
Yes, that sounds almost exactly like the sort of thing athletics would be for.
22.
Yes, with great difficulty, you were able to wrench this thing up and with some noise, get it off to the side. Clang is even louder now, coming very obviously out of this dark hole that goes straight down into the rock.
Jarrell will look down the hole.
Jarrell, well, looking down the hole, do you have the benefit of any light on your side?
I have the benefit of dark vision.
Yes, you have the benefit of dark vision, but there is a difference, and that's why I'm asking.
Hedrick would like to approach, and
Well, Boris still has her lantern lit.
That's true. And I am relatively near the circle.
yeah, we can either drop something down there. I got my drumstick. I know I really don't want to throw my drumstick. I'll find a rock or something. But Boris could throw a lantern or shine the light down.
Boris pulls, her rope out of her bag and ties it to the, I'm assuming there's like a handle or something on my lantern so I can carry it. So ties it to the lantern and proceeds to lower it into the hole.
The hole itself is about 10 feet wide, almost exactly the same dimensions as this gigantic manhole cover.
Oh, I thought it was 6 feet.
I think I had said 10 feet at one point, but if we want to retroact it to 6 feet, sure. It's a 6-foot manhole cover now. It's not that important. What is important is that it is stone walls, relatively smooth, heading straight down for at least 50 feet. There is some light at the bottom of this hole, but it is quite a ways in the distance. There does not appear to be anything like a handhold or anything to grab onto on the way down.
So it's straight down, smooth walls at more than 50 feet so far.
And there's
yes.
there's nothing there that was like banging on this manhole cover.
Not on the manhole cover. It's coming from further down.
Oh.
Hedrick
The noise was coming right up out of the hole, even louder without the manhole cover in the way.
I'm sorry. I've been speaking this whole time. Hedrick cannot speak as a bat.
Right, because you're polymorphed. So all the things that we heard Hedrick say have only just been translated into like just squeaks and screeches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now he flew down to the grate where Javril was, so now he can see like the light shining down.
You can't see anything. You're a bat. You can hear
Bats are
things.
completely blind. They can't sense light.
I think light actually like throws off their senses, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Actually, I think extremely loud noises do. So really, the whole clanging thing would probably be just having you like do this as a bat.
Yeah,
Well-
literally. So yeah, bats have blind sight of 60 feet, and they have advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing. But yes, they can't see.
Well, as a bat, I can still comprehend language.
Mhm.
So I would take the opportunity to zoom down and hang on the lantern, and kind of get a look through this grate down through this hole, and I'll keep my distance at first, but then I'm gonna let out a ping, just one of those like little high screeches, and see if
Little
I can,
echolocation.
yeah, see if I can just see if there's a chamber down there about how far away it is.
Okay, so kind of hovering down as a bat. It's... Man, I wasn't thinking anyone was going to polymorph into a bat when I thought this thing up.
Now, even though
It's so hard to balance anything around you but heads. It's between the number of people there's a solution in there somewhere.
even though Hedrick has dark hair, it's very dark brown, almost black. This bat seems to be sort of like a chestnut brown with like golden tips on the long fur and like the tips of his ears. And so he has some distinguishing features. He doesn't appear to be just some run of the mill.
No, he's a very stylish bat.
Oh, yes. So he will descend further down and see what he can ping.
All right, so he descends a little further down, and I think right around the time this episode airs, we have to add like the little status for Phil is very stylish bat after the episode goes. But yes, you hover your ways a little ways down, about 75 feet down this hole. It does open up into a very large room. We're going to say about 100 feet by 200 feet by 50 feet high itself. So from the opening of the grate to the bottom of the floor is 125 feet. And the first thing you see, hulking in the middle of the room and being very large, is a 12-foot high creature of some sort. It looks humanoid except wide as fuck. And we're talking about like if you took a very large SUV and stood it on its end, the kind of dimensions this thing is taking up.
Damn, boy.
It is very muscular, stripped to the waist, completely bald on top, and it has some sort of beard. It's tough to tell as you're viewing it from behind.
And through echolocation.
Well, that too, but the phrase blind as a bat is actually not at all accurate.
That's okay, fair.
They can see too. They just happen to, do good shit with echolocation at night.
Yeah, I mean, this is darkness, so I'm definitely using the sound.
Yeah, it's a really big humanoid.
So I suppose Hedrick would want to throw out a test, and he wants to do a series of squeaks in a way that would sound unnatural, as to possibly illuminate some intelligence or response from this large creature. And that's the only thing that is picking up.
Right now, yes, that is the only thing that it is picking up. The rest of it seems to be a room done in some sort of stone, but very well polished and white, almost like marble block walls all around. And some sort of floor that's also white. It has martial arts mats on it. So tatami, just like edge to edge in this 100 by 200 room.
Hedrick will descend, and he's going to get probably 30 feet from the floor, 25 feet from the floor.
Yeah. Now,
float.
just note that in this room with this large thing, it is actually lit. That's why I'm saying the walls are white and the floor is such a way. You can see in here. Like I said, there was a light at the bottom of that hole. And this room is actually well lit, although you cannot tell where the light comes from.
Being a bat, would Hedrick recognize spatial awareness? Is to think that the 6-foot wide tunnel that he descended down appeared much larger and much wider to him while he was in a bat form, and possibly this room is just housing a regular humanoid?
Maybe, but to your perception, this room looks like it's about the size of, a couple of football fields, and there is a titanic monster in the middle of it, hulking and facing away. But you kind of know that you should be scaling that back to something more reasonable.
Okay, that makes sense. So he's going to do a series of squeaks. Squeak, 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 squeak.
Now, one thing you do notice is that this gigantic thing raises an axe and smashes it down in front of him, and a loud clang rings out.
I feel like Hedrick needs to roll something. I'm going to call it insight as to whether or not he can recognize this form in front of him, or whether it seems like a giant. It seems like something, otherworldly.
To your action, roll the insight on it first.
A 16.
A 16. So what you notice is that a really frickin' big and inordinately wide humanoid is smashing an axe down. You see it as gigantic. You know it is not quite, like a full-on Titan or anything like that. But it is entirely possible that it is just a little bigger than you think it is. Well, I'm sorry, not bigger than that, but you've scaled it down, but it might be pretty big still.
Okay, Hedrick recognizes he doesn't seem to be able to communicate, and he does not want to take the risk of just reverting to his form to cast spells, because he can't cast spells as a bat. So he's going to fly back up, and he would like to relay all this information to Jyrel, the astral projection of Felix, and Boris and Captain Quinn.
And you're turning back into yourself then, obviously.
Yeah, he would have to do that. Do that. And just say, there's maybe a large or somewhat large, but very wide, heavy-set, bearded, bald gentleman down there that is slamming an axe against the ground. And he seems unresponsive. I tried to make contact with him, but there was no recognition. I was just a bat.
Maybe it's just time we go down there and investigate for ourselves together. Again, I probably not gonna be able to do a whole lot, but if it is bad, I could distract it at least, maybe.
How should we get down there? I don't seem to. Jyrel does not have any more rope on him, or pythons or anything like that. He's never restocked, apparently.
Well, I did a little shopping. I'm not sure where we were when I did it, but I knew I took note of it because I haven't been paid a single penny, a single copper since I joined this group.
It's a collective pool of money we all have.
Well, I do appreciate your material, contributions to my components for spells and whatnot. But I have a grappling hook and a climber's kit.
And if you tie that to whatever rope that Boris already has tied to the lantern, we should probably have enough to get down there. Well, I mean, you should. I could probably just, I can just float down there because, again, astral projection.
Boris has a 50-foot piece tied to the lantern.
Pretty sure we're all level 14. We can get down a 100-foot hole.
Not sure what you mean by that, but I think I get it.
Hello, what's your alignment?
Yes, I am a very experienced adventurer, thank you.
I mean, unless anyone else has any more rope, I'd say that's probably our best play. I did have a scroll of spider climb on my person, but again, not actually here.
Well, Hedrick will, I guess he'll slide down the rope. Or no, he'll pull it up. Pull up the lantern, give the lantern back to Boris, tie the rope down 100 feet, and then he's going to say, who wants to go first?
I mean, I'll go first. I can't really be hurt right now, so I'll just walk on down. And you're gonna see Felix kind of walk up to the edge of the manhole cover and then just turn, pitch down 90 degrees and then just start walking down the side of the this tunnel.
Goddamn you, Fizzlebottom! You never seem to cease to amaze.
Boris attaches the lantern to her armor, just clips it on so she'll be able to see as she's going down, and then just flips down the rope ridiculously gracefully.
Jarrell would be right behind her.
Quinn
Not
follows
quite
you.
gracefully.
All right, them's the marching orders.
All
So I'm
right.
gonna plop down there first.
Okay, so you plop down with nary a sound.
What does he look like as an astral projected?
Oh, right, I forgot to mention.
Ooh, there we go. This is the best time to describe that as you're falling in a nice slow-mo down to the top at the bottom.
So I did forget to mention last week, when Felix is astrally projecting, his true changeling form is what is projected because, as a changeling, right, you're essentially just a blank canvas for whatever you turn into. So it's I'm talking ghost white skin, white, you can barely see where my irises start in my eyes, right? There's just the black pupil in the center. And silky white hair that's kind of pulled back into a small ponytail, and no facial hair, and just incredibly smooth skin. And then I have that gem set into the center of my forehead as well.
What kind of clothing are you wearing?
My normal clothes. It's just that,
The same adventuring clothes we always saw you in.
It's just that my face and skin and stuff like that all looks like my true changing form, which I don't think Hedrick has ever seen.
Never.
But some of the other party have. Boris has not either, actually.
Well, he certainly recognizes your voice.
It's pretty distinct.
Yeah, if people hadn't and didn't necessarily know you were a changeling, they could totally chalk that up to just some sort of weird artifact of you astral projecting.
Right.
You just astral project weird. You're a weird astral projector.
Nope, astral projection shame, man.
All right,
It's
so we're
2021.
climbing
About it. But so yes, and you in your astral form hit the ground without a sound. I just want to kind of establish what other people are doing and how they're coming down before I describe the scene at the bottom. So,
Well, Boris is after me, right? So
yes, so Boris is next, and you are unable to do anything but get to the bottom of the rope and then fall the remaining, 25 feet with inordinate levels of grace, and you also land without a sound on the soft ground.
because Boris.
Yes, because Boris. And now we get to Jarrell, and the story changes just a little.
Knowing Jarrell was coming after her, Boris scuttled out of the way gracefully and silently, but quickly.
Yeah. So first we have to get you down the rope. So that's going to be Well, we can make that an athletics check since you can, keep yourself on there and lower yourself by main strength.
It's 15.
A 15. Okay, you do that just fine. And we can make an acrobatics check to fall the remaining 25 feet without a sound.
Oh yeah, this is going to happen real well.
Thunk goes the plate armor.
Right. Holy shit! That's my third nat 20 tonight.
Yeah, baby.
Ninja Jarrell. Ninjarel, as it were.
He his fall is timed with another clang, so you don't even hear it. The armor as if it did when it did drop.
Yes,
Right.
The axe falls again. Clang. So who was behind? Was that Hedrick next?
Hedrick or the captain?
Yeah, I couldn't remember how you guys resolved your order. So
I
think it was
Captain Quinn.
I think it was Hedrick then Quinn.
And
Okay.
Yeah, it
don't
was
forget
Quinn and
Hans.
Hedrick.
well, there we go.
Oh yeah, we have Hans. Hans, I don't know if you want to come down here. My sentiments is it's either going to get really bad or we're going to come right back up.
It's kind of always been assumed since the start of Jarrell that Hans will always avoid hostile situations and will proceed when the all clear is given.
Yep.
So Hedrick follows, and he will get to the bottom. Because of his tumbling fool trait, he'll take half damage from falling the 25 feet.
Well, okay. So before we get to there, let's see. We've got to get you down the rope first. So that can either be an athletics or acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
I was going to say, we know which one he's picking.
Yeah. I got a 15 with my expertise because I rolled
plus
a
13.
I rolled a 2.
Hey, still counts.
Good.
That's what the modifiers are for. So then another acrobatics to make it gracefully the last 25 feet.
Oh, that's better. That's a 29.
Yeah. So also without a sound. And now we get to Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind, the last one down the rope.
Come on, bud, you got this.
Nat 20.
Yeah.
I would
I
say
don't like that I wasted on this because I probably would have been fine, but it is what it is.
yeah. Just make me another acrobatics check for that last 25 feet then.
Here it comes.
Oh, come on.
Is it a 1?
It's not a 1, it's a 10.
It succeeds just because of the momentum you have from descending the rope well.
Cool.
Like, I kind of had a silent advantage on that from that 20. I didn't want to just give you the whole way down, but we
Sure.
were going to make that a fait accompli. So everyone does make it down completely silently. And because nobody said they did, Hans is left at the top without any kind of light. It is pitch dark.
If he hasn't learned by now to carry some kind of light with him with all the dark vision shit that we've been doing, that's his problem.
Now, I'm just gonna ask a quick question, because when Hedrick changed into the bat, would his drumstick have, gone out?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I
only-
thought. I wanted to make sure.
Only Jabrel's sword would have shown any light, like illumination around the area.
And you also have the lantern on your hip, right? So
So now you are now down here in the light, and this large hulking figure once again raises his axe and smashes it down in front of him. It is easily a good 15, 20 feet tall. It's giant, which also means that at that kind of height, it's also a good 10 plus feet wide. This axe is the size of a small wagon,
my goodness.
and it is being clanged down into something.
Do we recognize what kind of creature this is?
It's like if you took a dwarf and scaled it way the fuck up.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Do you want me to get its attention?
Gerald shrugs. Like he's not really sure how to proceed with this thing. He's still under the assumption that it's the desecrated creature.
Hedrick can speak Dwarven, and so he's going to try to address this being in Dwarven.
I say, so can I. All right,
Yeah,
go for it.
Excuse me, creature, being, person. We are here in search of answers.
And just after the excuse me, this large being kind of jumps a little. Whoa there, laddie! As this gigantic dwarf with a silver beard turns towards you. Can you read? The giant dwarf turns back around. Axe Brother Hoblet, we're done for today. As Hoblet, standing there, takes Trixie down from blocking another blow from this gigantic creature.
What? Hoblet's here?
Good evening, friendos.
Oh, dear Lord.
Couldn't you read the sign on the door? It said, keep out.
Well, I mean, have you ever... Okay, first of all...
Have you met us?
And we know your history with doors, Hoblet. So I don't really want to hear a lecture about this right now. What are you doing here? Where are we?
This is good old Clang-a-geddon's place.
I knew we weren't on the material plane anymore.
It's more of a training room / bachelor pad for the greatest dwarves in existence.
Well, that's
So
kind of
who
cool.
let you in? He turns to the heroes.
Jarrell walks up, outstretches his hand, and says, I did. And shakes your hand, and yeah.
Hoblet, who has been training with Clang-a-geddon for maybe a couple of days and has not showered, grabs Jarrell's hand and pulls him in for a hug, possibly the smelliest hug of Jarrell's life.
Yeah, this particular training session has been a couple of days. You've been down here in this place for something like a year now.
And I forgot to mention, my armor is hanging on the wall and I'm just wearing a codpiece. Gets hot in the cave.
Oh no.
So there's a layer of dwarf grease on. Yeah, maybe a little smaller than that, Mike.
Oh no.
Oh, this is what I showed when you were talking about it, like, what, 3 years ago now?
Mike is holding up the cod piece slash
I think I have a
pouch.
picture of you doing that on our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Wow.
Training
Wow.
has been good. I've been keeping sharp. Figured you all would show up eventually.
How did you figure? Never mind. You know what? Never mind. It's kind of glad. I'm actually happy to see you, bud.
You probably had a plan.
Not really, actually. I was just gonna distract this thing. I thought it was some big monster, and then I was gonna hope that everybody else kind of figured it out from there.
He turns to Clang-a-geddon. Want to fight him?
Do they think they'd stand a chance?
Not today, friendo.
Actually, you know, it's kind of interesting. This is Clang-a-geddon Silverbeard, right? The god Clang-a-geddon Silverbeard. I'm actually curious. If I'm astral projecting, can you, as a celestial creature, damage me?
Nay, just a Clang-a-geddon Silverbeard. Haven't you heard? We come in 6-packs, laddie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who am I addressing then?
Yes, of course I'm the Clang-a-geddon Silverbeard. Did the beard not tip you off?
I mean, it kind of did. Yeah, it's a pretty defining feature.
Thank ye. I take great care to keep it so.
I would expect nothing less from literally one of the greatest dwarves that has ever lived.
Thank ye. Anyway, the place you're in is called Legradex. It's kind of a pit stop in the middle of the universe.
Cool.
More or less. It's kind of a big rock. It's just sort of floating out in the middle of nowhere.
Cool.
Look, some of us minor deities kind of use it as a flophouse every now and again. It's been here since darn near forever.
Hoblet huffs his shoulders when he says that.
What? We gotta have a place to go every now and again. Haven't you seen what Vecna's doing out there?
Yes, it's pretty terrible. In fact, I'm actually glad that you're still around. I was hoping there was still some other god still,
Well, I'm certainly not going outside.
I feel like there would be a moment here where Hoblet would kind of address everyone for a quick second before you guys move on with whatever business you brought into my training session. So I already kind of snickered at Felix about his plan. I hugged Jarrell. I feel like I'd turn probably to Quinn, give him a nod, Captain, and then when I see Hedrick, the band is still together.
Holy shit, you're all cut and greased up, Hoblet. God damn.
It's just the lighting down here. And then he would remember Boris.
Mm-hmm.
Boris, looking at this giant man wearing nothing but a codpiece and sweat, is looking
not giant.
everywhere.
You guys are about the same height.
Well,
Clang-a-geddon is the giant one.
Sorry. I'm assuming fairly beefy when I say giant, muscular, because he's been training for a year being hit by a giant axe, right?
Yes.
So
okay,
it's this large in muscular scale man, and is looking everywhere in the room except for at him, the wall, the ceiling, the floor, and is just extremely uncomfortable.
Boris.
Oh, hey, by the way,
not wanting to offend the youth of the nation, walks over and puts his armor back on. Gets decent.
That is good. While we've got it, what kind of weapon is Trixie, by the way?
A maul.
Plus anything?
I think it did get that at one point.
At least
They definitely
one.
got plus one.
And if not, it should be by now.
Well, it's silvered.
Yeah.
Here's what I have
It
written
is
down
now.
next to it. I can wield it one-handed.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
I have +2 to hit and +2 to damage.
Yep.
And then
That's
2d8 extra per turn.
Okay, it's already +2. All right, that's where we needed it to be.
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember we did that shortly before Hoblet left last time. It was Trixie got this big buff where he can now wield it with one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but also
Need a
I
fucking
wanted to make
shield.
sure it was suitably powerful to parry blows from a god.
Yes.
A +1 maul wasn't going to do the trick. But all right, since it's there, that's where we need it to be.
So Boris is now going
Yeah.
to suddenly register as well that the item of clothing that she is still wearing of Quinn's, right? Because she's taken off the jacket at this point, but she's still wearing his codpiece over her regular clothing and is registering how this would normally be worn. Because, Boris has never dealt with a codpiece before. She didn't know. And is the brightest shade of red anyone has ever seen Boris, but doesn't want to draw attention by removing it, so is just uncomfortably trying to also not look at her own codpiece.
Oh,
Her own.
no.
That might be the first time the words "her own codpiece" have ever been said in the history of words. I don't know, maybe somewhere, but maybe 5 times ever.
Total.
But no more than 5.
No more than 5.
Tops.
So Jarrell turns to Hoblet. You're training with a god. My god has sent me to actually become a god. That's why we're here, actually. Jarrell has been sent by Valen to become ascended, essentially, and that's why we're talking
but
around
Hoblet
too.
has no idea of that. I feel like I'd be like, you're always on a quest to become a god.
Valen certainly wouldn't have sent you here. This is like the smelly basement to the outer worlds.
You took a wrong turn somewhere.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I never really did get around to asking how you guys really got here. I mean, I just kind of point and shot to where I, could try to approximate where you were.
Funny story, actually. So, after I left, do you have something, Dave?
Not really, just that
Okay.
at some point after you had brought him in, that Clang-a-geddon had taken you away to train with him because, you're a cleric of him.
I don't know if you guys remember, but Angus Core was on my people to kill list.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, so I'm not going to say that I killed him, but I'm going to maybe just say that he won't be coming back to find us. But I thought of something kind of funny to say that I was doing in the meantime, and then I have a way that I got to Clang-a-geddon's if you want me to set it up.
Go for it.
Okay. So, after I left with that bastard Angus Core, we went and justice was served. I don't know if word had reached you all, but in the meantime, I remembered that evil Lord Crump that I had my original run-in with. And I was finally able to vanquish him from his lands. We have regained the land for the people. Lord Crump, I dealt with him. After I dealt with Crump, y'all get a chuckle out of this, boys. Went to the bar, had a few drinks. If you remember, I sometimes would ask Clang-a-geddon for help with things. And I was dwarf wasted, and I asked for Clang-a-geddon's interference to make me the greatest warrior ever. Turns out that was the fucking time it worked. Boom! I'm in his fucking laboratory, swinging an axe in my codpiece. Here we are.
Wait, he's the reason why you're in your codpiece?
Don't worry about that.
Listen, laddie, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
That's between me and my God.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, he says about himself.
Boris chooses this opportunity to just give up and strip out of Captain Quinn's codpiece and hand it back to him, holding the least amount of it physically possible between two fingers.
But wait a minute. The important part here, which piece are you holding? Because you're either holding the piece that would have been on his body or the piece that would have been
we established that this codpiece was attached to these assless leather chaps.
Okay.
All chaps are assless.
Yeah, so by the waistband of the chaps.
Thank you for returning my property.
Now you've got your full wardrobe back.
Did I see
Boris
that
also
happen?
hands him a bubblegum cigar
happen?
and just slinks off.
Dave,
What's up?
did I see that happen? Did I see her give him his codpiece back?
Yeah, probably.
Like, you're right, it happened right in front of us.
Yeah.
You're just standing there.
Yeah.
Did you get your clothes stolen by a little girl?
Oh, you don't even understand what has happened.
You don't know what I've been through, man.
Dilbertram has written them all down in my name.
Is that twat still around?
You don't see him here.
Do you? Good.
It's been a while since somebody asked, anyways.
I forgot about him.
So did everybody else.
I mean, that's exactly what he
That's the
wanted you to
goal.
do.
That was
so good
supposed to
job.
happen.
Good job.
But he's not here now.
I
No,
do
he's not
believe
here now.
he's
Okay.
in a boat at sea about to be destroyed by Ebenezer, is
Yeah,
what I
something like that.
believe the current whereabouts of Dilbertram is.
Or
Which is what we-
dragon.
Safe to assume that's why you're here?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Sounds
It's been a
good.
long day
Let's
for
get
these
to work.
Yep, the world's going to shit. I'm trying to find a way to get myself
by the
physically
way,
here.
I met my father.
No.
I did. He's He's almost as handsome as I am.
I don't even know how Hamlet would respond to you saying that. Oh,
Felix has
I
walked
missed you,
away.
Captain.
Yeah, he's got some crazy powers now. He drank the waters of his birthright, and now he can control any ship with the wave of his arms. He just stretches them out, and we can go like crazy fast across the waters now.
Clang-a-geddon flinches at the mention of water.
You know, there's a school right above our heads, and the basin in which the waters were drawn from allowed this power.
His Clang-a-geddon's face goes instantly sour. My upstairs neighbor, Salad Bar, is the worst neighbor of all time.
Salad Bar Southwind! I knew he had to drop it at some point.
Jarrell walks over to Quinn and like immediately tries to like hush him because he knows that's his
Oh yeah, it's all fun and games until your upstairs neighbor leaves his bathtub full, and it empties into your frickin' rec room.
I imagine we're in the rec room currently.
Well, what else would you be doing in here? It's not
Rec room
exactly a
spelled
dining room, is it?
WRECK.
Yeah.
What the hell else would you spell it? Recreation with a wreck.
Emphasis on the wreck.
Emphasis on the wreck.
I didn't bring ex-brother Hoblet, the smasher, here to set tables.
Nah, we went doing work.
We've been smashing things.
Wrecking, like the room says.
Well, if I may interject then for a moment. So obviously the material plane where Tadoria happens to, live is in clear and present danger, and as my physical body is still over there, and I do value it quite a bit still. Just kind of trying to figure out, A, I guess how I can get here, and B, how we can get to, I guess, where were you guys headed? And I turn to like the rest of the party.
Zero just pointed us in this direction, and we were off.
Okay, there's definitely some details you're omitting there, but so I guess Zero somehow got you here, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, it's a little complicated. We had been here once before, right? We were battling Ebenezer, and then we had returned to Ardwall, and then we made our way around back to High Rock, and shit hit the fan over there. And then we found out that Ardwall was now under attack and besieged, and everybody at the summit was at risk. So then we had to return, and when we got there, wouldn't you know,
It's
Boris
still
here,
Ebenezer.
Boris here ended up drinking some of this magic water, and we end up being summoned by the Sea Czar himself.
Salad Bar.
Yeah, just like that. And we end up
Again, Jarrell is like hushing Quinn.
we end up being bestowed with the power of the planar vortex. In case you hadn't heard, it's kind of a big deal. Zero here decided then to blast us through space and time, seemingly back to this very school we had been at before. And shit, wouldn't we know we run into you? So you tell me, pal.
Wait, a school? Are you telling me Salad Bar was running a daycare out of there?
I'm not gonna say it wasn't a daycare, but it also wasn't exactly a daycare.
Quinn here was the dean of it. And Jarrell whacked Quinn on the
Wait.
Why does this shit always backfire?
You say the words. That's it. You just say the words, and you get yourself into this situation.
Well, it's a
At least
school.
10% my fault.
Water magic. That's so cool. Daycare.
Oh yeah, water magic. Magic the water out of the freaking tatami here. It smelled like wet hay. It's disgusting.
Do you know how
Must
bad
have
it has
water
to smell?
spilled in here.
Do you know how bad it has to smell for a dwarf to say it smells?
A dwarf god, no less.
Ex-brother Hoblet had to soak it up with his beard.
Yeah.
Beard, what is your name, little one? You, the dean of the daycare upstairs.
Jarrell, I hate you.
I tried.
He's just death staring you right now.
Boris proudly announces he's Lord Dean Captain Professor Quinn Southwind.
Oi! You're right at the salad bar.
Oh, Jesus.
Who's
It
that?
is my father.
It's your father. I haven't seen him in a while. Have you put him in a home?
He's not that old for a god.
How could you? He left his bathtub full for 3 years. He's clearly not all there in the head. Please, take care of him before he hurts somebody.
I feel like the exact face that
Quinn just
Mike's
smiles
making
and
right
nods.
now is what Quinn's doing.
Yeah, he's not a big fan of dwarves. Hoblet won him over for a while, but yeah, this guy
Hoblet
is...
won him over?
He can't even distinguish gnomes from dwarves.
Hoblet will always have a near and dear place in my heart, but only him.
The rest of the dwarves are.
It's kind of fucked up, dude.
His family was semi-cute too.
It's racist, dog.
Oh, the Smashers episode.
The Smashers.
We sang a song for that.
We did.
Speaking of which, Mr. Clang-a-geddon, dear God, we have brought ourselves and found ourselves in a situation where we're facing powers beyond our limitations. This one, Vecna and
Ugh.
Ebenezer, both are challenging the prosperity of this plane, as well as the others. We happen to know here that out on the astral plane, or at least other places, godly battle is being done. And we would beseech you to relinquish Hoblet from his training so that he may join us on this embarkment.
What do you say, boss? You think I'm set?
Of course there's gods fighting out there. It's a fucking jungle out there. I don't want to go out. But, ex-brother Hoblet, you think you're done with your training?
I'll never be done, sir. See you again.
Aye, that's the right answer. But yeah, you've done enough. Go fight some wars and get some glory.
Jarrell will raise his hand to get the attention of the giant dwarf.
What are you gonna do raising your hand?
Right.
Are you from the
Hoblet's face
daycare
palm
upstairs?
Jarrell's been along with Hoblet for long enough that he knows he just had to accept the berating, but he had to get his attention. And he's going to ask, before you send us on our way, all-powerful dwarf, what's his name, Clang-a-geddon, is there any particular way that you could bring our friend Felix here from what's the regular world? I don't know.
Ardwall?
Yeah.
Just tell Dury the prime material plane.
Yeah, from the prime material plane to
Oh,
us here.
the place where all the boring stuff happens. Me? No, I can't do that anymore. I'd have to open me door. God knows. There's barbarians out there. Vecna could just go dragging me out. Of course Vecna's out there. I don't know how that other guy you're talking about is. Ebenezer. Sounds like somebody really taking on a very hopped up name. I like it. Sounds weird.
It's miserly in nature.
Sure, why not?
Is there a way you would recommend that we get our friend here from that plane?
There's ways to get here from everywhere. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of a weird place, this Legrodex. It's way bigger than you think it is. It goes all the way up and all the way down. It's something like a mile all the way around the place. Like from side to side or something like that. It goes all the way up and all the way down. So there's lots of different flows and places. There's got to be a portal room here somewhere to get to all the places. I don't know what the hell it is, though.
Have you never ventured out to explore the rest of these places of Legrodex? You just come here to crash?
I don't want to go into everybody's place. You want somebody just walking into your apartment? No. See, stay the fuck out of other people's, too. It's kind of a strange place, this Legrodex. It's all lined up weird. Somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, you don't really know where the things are.
Well, one thing for sure, this place is convenient. I gotta say, it is a hell of a thing running into you two. And I have to imagine this was meant to be. I'm just so happy to see you.
My God, quit trying to kiss me, arse.
I was talking to Hoblet. That's
Well,
okay.
quit
That's
trying
okay.
to kiss his too.
Yeah, this has been so long since I've seen that hairy, glistening, greasy, dwarven ass over there. Fucking hey, Hoblet. All right, let's what do you say we get down to business?
Where are we headed?
That is a great question.
Like I was saying, this sort of place, like, lots of demigods kind of come in and out of this place because it can kind of handle the weight we've got. A little better than some of the worlds, but we don't really get places of our own, and when we do, they're weird ocean places where all the wind people are. There's no land there. Anywhere. What do you even do? But no, somewhere there's some kind of portal nexus in here somewhere. The master of this place put it in. Who knows when? A long time ago. Or maybe 5 minutes ago. Sometimes we're out here. But anyway, you go there, maybe you get a portal, and it's a grab bag. Maybe it takes you to the prime material plane. Maybe it takes you to Tartarus. You never know. It's an adventure.
Tartarus?
That sounds kind of dangerous. Like, what if we end up in, like, I don't know, the elemental plane of fire and all burn to death?
I guess she could go back to the prime material plane and get destroyed by Ebenezer.
I mean, you raise a good point.
You're damn right I do. A god in his own home.
Hoblet's like silently chuckling this whole entire time. Just standing next to him, just chuckling at you guys. Clang-a-geddon's just being a wanker.
Oh yeah, I'm being an absolute fucking asshat. This is great.
Well, the chuckling is a welcomed sound. It's been a long time since we've been able to hear this chuckle. And I gotta think everybody's beaming and just excited at this point. We are, reunited.
I'm ready to go fight some shit.
Yeah, reunited.
Let's go kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should figure out this whole portal nexus thing then, and I'm gonna keep trying to, I guess, figuring out how the heck I can get to you guys, because I am afraid if I go back to my body right now, I'm not gonna be able to make it to that lighthouse to teleport my way to here.
Not, Fran, you may want to help me here if you want to but I'm pretty sure that I can cast a spell right now that can bring you here.
What is that?
I don't know all the 7th level ones, but I was just reading about one. Plane shift? Does that work? I'd have to read it through again. I was trying to read them all. But
Hold
that
on.
was one that sounds like I might be able to move somebody.
14th level Warcaster cleric.
Yeah.
You and up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle are transported to a different plane of existence.
So I probably can't.
You can specify. I can't touch you. If I try to touch you, my hand goes through you. But this is really cool because this is an alternative way to travel through the planes of existence.
So you can transport all of us back to Felix.
Yeah, read the bottom of that too.
Yeah.
You can use a spell to banish an unwilling creature to another plane. Yeah. Cool.
Balk 'em.
That's not. Hold on. This is not a terrible idea, actually.
Holy shit, Hoblet. I think you might have stumbled into a solution here.
I'm trying to read all the level 7 spells, and there's like 5 of them that have to deal with planes. And I don't know what the fuck. I live in this plane. I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. Like, I don't know all these other planes and what.
Well, maybe if we figure out a destination, then we could point and shoot there. But it's also pretty dangerous because I'm not sure how many times you can cast that in a day. But
well, I can cast it once a long rest.
Right, and I'm afraid if you try to transport everyone to me, that we're not gonna make it a long rest, so to speak. Before things become irreparably worse.
I mean, you can send someone unwilling, right? If you send Clang-a-geddon where Felix is, I'm sure they'll both pop right back here together.
Well, now, here's the thing. I can scry on dear Felix if he can make himself, safe in one way or the other. I know he cannot.
I'm at least temporarily safe at an offshore facility outside of Ardwall, but things are looking looking pretty dire.
I have a really good idea. Hold on, let me make sure this will work. Because I think it is probably the perfect greeting between Jarrell and Hoblet. Oh, what does banishment do? Does it send him back to the plane that it's?
It sends
a random plane or the plane that it's from?
The plane that it's from. If it's not, if the one that it's currently on is not its home plane.
Hoblet is from
the material plane.
Can I banish Hoblet back to Felix, and then Felix gets teleported with Hoblet back
here?
Is that too much?
That is crazy enough to possibly work.
I literally have to pretty much ultra smite Hoblet back to Felix, and then Hoblet.
I don't see anything rules as written that says you cannot do it.
The question would be pinpointing the location of where he approaches on the plane.
I don't think I get to pick.
You don't get to pick that he goes to Ardwall. In the middle of this battle, that's a loophole that's a little far stretched. You're gonna send him exactly.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare shit on this good time here.
I'm a rules lawyer.
Yeah, you know what? I see your rules lawyer, and I'm going to nullify it with a rule of cool off the top of the deck.
Yes! Objection!
The hapless heroes.
Objection! Rule of cool. Sustained.
The ethos of humanity.
Yeah. I mean, this is crazy enough to work. Let's do it.
Yeah. Aspiring DMs, never let the rules get in the way of a good story.
It's true.
All right, hold on. I'll give you the specific latitude and longitude on the prime material plane. If you can just smack him in that general direction, maybe that works.
It looks like we're fine on the rules. The rules lawyer over there, for at least for my spell, because it says that I can go to a specific place.
Yeah, but that's back here. We're using you to come back here, and then Jarrell's going to banish you to me, and then you're going to take me to here.
All I was telling Phil was that the second half of this plan is airtight.
Oh, I had no doubt in plane shift. It's the banishment. The banishment was the issue. Hedrick has just got his jaw dropped because he has no idea about these powers, and he is just looking at Clang-a-geddon and then looking at you guys deciding how we're gonna reconvene.
Yes, and you even know the true name of this place, so you could get back here. Legridex isn't the school. It wasn't the lighthouse. It is this entire place that this is.
Well, let's do it.
Are you
Dave,
ready? Are you ready and
roll
willing,
a cool
Hoblet?
banishment?
Yeah, so safe to assume that we've chatted this plan out. We know what's going on. The way the spell reads, it's a touch spell. So if you're banishing me back to, wait a minute. I'm going back. I'm risking my life right now to go back to save Felix. Can we just? I just want to be clear that that's what's happening right now.
I'm sorry. Is that a problem?
Yeah. Whose plan was this? This seems like some horse shit. I have a plan.
If there's a way that I can impart to Jarrell, I can scry on Felix, at least his physical self on the material plane.
Mhm.
And that way I should be able to garner some sort of location.
Okay.
So I'm going back, grabbing Felix's hand. Let's go. And then.
Well, you don't
we're
grab
out
my
in
hand yet.
500.
Jarrell has to banish you.
No.
first.
Right. So after he banishes me, I don't know the fuck I'm getting into. You're sending me in naked here. I know
Dave.
it sounds like a shit show,
Oh,
but
no,
if you're
no,
like,
you-
I'm about to die. So I
You're
feel
not
like I'm coming in and
dying.
like, I got to grab you and we got to go.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be ready when you get here.
It actually doesn't say I have to hit him. I think Jarrell would just do that. Right.
Whack!
Smack.
And then just a pop.
So just be a little descriptive. How are you doing the whacking?
I'm tempted to just do the pimp. Back.
Slow and sensually.
In a
Slow
firm up and down motion.
I fucking asked for that. But
Quickening
Sorry.
as. Never mind.
Is it safe to assume that since this podcast has been going on for a while without me, that jokes have still been going on? I'm not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good deal.
We haven't lost
Not
our
as
mojo.
funny, but still funny.
Good. I miss you guys.
I miss you too.
Well, I just pimp smacked you back to Felix. So
okay, so you just kind of did like
Yes!
a or something.
And it says when you banish something back to its native plane, it vanishes with a loud pop.
Yep.
There, that was beautiful.
Aye! Clang-a-geddon says, you whacked him in the face and sent him back to another plane.
That was the plan.
So
Jarrell
Would've been
looks so
funnier if
proud
you
of
whacked
himself.
him in the jimmies.
I'm back. What do I see?
And now Felix's astral form disappears. You are inside of a laboratory, an Omega Project laboratory. It is just me in here.
Okay.
And it's a smaller room, about 20 by 20, and all of the doors are locked. There is a crater in the center of the floor that goes about 5 feet deep.
What the
Don't
fuck
ask.
did you?
Just don't ask. We need to go right now.
Let's go. I'm gonna grab his arm, and we go. We go
Yeah,
back.
so-
It says that I need to know the specific location, but
You do.
yeah.
The nearest
Clang.
window explodes inward with a blast, shards of glass flying everywhere.
Yeah, and you can hear as we're traveling through whatever fucking planar thing. There's this sound of you can almost hear before we arrive back at Legredex. It's just ah! As Felix pops in,
Nice.
Halbert's probably just standing there, just fine, and Felix is just shaken as he was not ready for that necessarily for just how quick that was gonna be.
He's a planar noob.
As soon as they both pop into the room, Boris has 2 bubblegum cigars ready and pops one instantly into each of their mouths.
Yes.
Clang-a-geddon leans
Oh.
down towards Boris. Hey, Nasi! What did he call me earlier? Clangy something, I can't remember.
Boris looks
Clang-a-rang.
up at him
Clang-a-rang.
slowly and says very, very meepishly, Clang-a-rang?
Hey, come on, Lassie, say it like you mean it. You've got moxie, show it!
Clang-a-rang!
You're darn right. I'm gonna keep that one in the notebook. Now listen, ye, as he turns back over to Quinn. If you do see the Caesar, send him my regards. After that, I'm going to send him a bill for the drying this place out. He was a good neighbor, even if he was a pain in the arse. Now go get out of here.
Quinn just kind of like nods his hat at Clang-a-geddon.
Your gigantic hat.
My gigantic hat to the gigantic dwarf.
I don't know how we get out of here.
Hendrick,
You
wow.
can't really jump up 25 feet to grab a rope.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hold on,
Hoblet, you don't happen to have an adventurer's kit or climbing kit, do you?
Boris has 10 pittons on her still.
That's good. That's not going to help us climb not a wall.
How tall is Clang-a-geddon?
Maybe it would be best if you didn't go putting marks in me
Um,
walls. How about
Hey.
you just take the double doors at the other end of the room, go down the hallway.
We all stare at the very obvious set of doors that were always there this entire time.
They were, but Clang-a-geddon's fucking gigantic. He was obscuring the view of like an entire half.
Fair enough.
Do you know how?
We'll go that way.
No, nobody really asked for a description, and nobody made a perception check.
Right.
You know how we feel
Dave.
about doors.
Yeah, but there are double doors, and there's a hallway, and there's some apartments areas in here. It wasn't just a training room they've been hanging out in for years. Like Hoblet had to sleep somewhere and shit.
right.
There had to be food and stuff.
So is there like a god-sized apartment?
This is essentially Clang-a-geddon Silverbeard's fucking bachelor pad, like godly bachelor pad.
Right.
Don't tell his wife
Yeah.
about this place.
This is the sort of place where it was a place, and it's kind of existing outside of things. And it has a master, but that's neither here nor there. But gods kind of pop in and out of here. Other powerful entities might too as well.
Would it be safe to assume that a proper Dwarven like goodbye would just be like two nods? I feel like we've said enough while we've been here. Just kind of be like, till we meet again.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. I love it.
Then I would like Hoblet to proudly, as fast as he can, run over to the double doors, pull them in, and throw them open, super proud that he knows that they open inward.
I'm here for a year. You know how the doors work,
Yup.
and they do bang open with some authority. Clang-a-geddon grins with approval.
Let's go.
And the party heads off through the double doors and towards their destiny. And that's where we're going to call this week's episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Beautiful.
If you like us, we can be found on the internet. We're in such places as Instagram and Twitter at Hapless Heroes. We are on Reddit /r/Hapless Heroes Podcast. We are also on Facebook. Search for Hapless Heroes Podcast. All of those places will take you to the crown jewel of our internet presence, our Discord server, where you can meet and greet and talk and hang out with us on a daily basis. Folks like me and Fran are on absolutely constantly because we're just on Discord constantly. And the rest of the cast is just a ping away. They're frequently on and about as well.
Except for Massimo, who lost access to his Discord account and cannot get it back. He's like tried everything, and this kid gets so frustrated with technology that he's just like given up. But I will relay things to him because I disc golf with him frequently. So
yeah, even the people who aren't around anymore are still close friends of the show. We do talk with them on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a wonderful self-sustaining community where you're almost more likely to be greeted by members of the community than you are us when you first pop into the server. But we are still small enough where we try to greet people when they show up. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Please do come and join us on Discord. Now, if you really, really like us, though, you could leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. I'm going to assume that, being an adult who has found this podcast, you have a podcast service of choice, and you may even be able to leave a 5-star review there if this sort of place takes reviews.
yeah, just like this wonderful person, Corey wrote to us in February here. It says, I listen to this podcast while I at work. What an amazing group of guys and gals. I've binged this podcast in about a month, which, what the fuck?
That's nuts.
That's Think about it. That's 4.5 years.
Long-haul trucker?
Yeah, that is 4.5 years of content.
It's like
now,
200 hours.
Now take essentially.
Who listens to it.
It's about 50 episodes a year because we do like take breaks every now and again, right? And each episode is at least an hour, if not more. So that's like.
It is. It's 200 hours.
That is
maybe
200 plus hours of listening that you've somehow done in we don't deserve that.
Right.
But he says, I've just caught up and I don't know how I'm going to handle the week-to-week release. Wish I could give this podcast higher than 5 stars. Keep it up. Well, Corey, you get 5 stars from us because you are a 5-star human. Thank you for your
5
efforts.
whole stars.
I was going to give Corey
And
an
please
A+.
sleep this week.
Ooh.
Yes, please sleep. Please, if you are losing sleep over this podcast, we implore you to please sleep.
Now, folks, if you really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a variety of different reward tiers, from a basic kudos to being added to a special patrons-only channel where you get the cool stuff like the outtakes and some bonus Hoblet music. Hoblet, yeah.
No one wants that.
Now
No
you're
one
getting
wants that.
Hoblet.
I kind of want some Hoblet music.
The Hoblet stuff you get, though, are the Hoblet Notes, which is a borderline cryptographic codex of stream of thought and strange sigils.
Yeah, after we cut tonight, I'll read you guys the last 2 notes I wrote because they're fucking epic.
Oh, we're back.
Oh,
You
yeah, a myriad of rewards. You know, I mean, all that money goes back into keeping this show running, honestly. And, I might even, as we continue to save some more of that, even buy some folks some new microphones and things for, the inevitable remote recording that we're going to continue to do. Is now we have cast members who are not even in the country. So, gotta just, keep expanding our technology here.
multinational.
We are a multinational podcast now.
Yep.
But yes, please, check it out. If you think we're worth your hard-earned dollars, we certainly appreciate it. We'll make sure to do our best to give right back to you.
Yeah, I did. I just really want to check in though. I did not miss the Tasteful Nudes shoot. Did I? No one went to that level on the Patreon yet? Have they?
Not yet, no.
Okay, good. If you guys would have done a Tasteful, you know how mad I would have been if you would have done a Tasteful.
I have questions about my requirements for this podcast suddenly.
If that Tasteful Nudes shoot was done without me, I would have been
Nicole,
so
this
mad.
has been a running joke since the dawn of Patreon.
We've been trying to get someone to donate like $1 million or something. I forget what the tier is. It's
There is no
ridiculously
tier.
high.
That's the point. It is an undetermined number, and there is no guarantee that you will actually get Tasteful Nudes.
Oh yeah, they'll get them. I can guarantee it.
I think
if they're just
mess with the
of
boat,
James
you get the
/Hoblet.
if nothing
Man, if
else,
somebody donates $1 million, I will consider Tasteful Nudes. I'm
For
putting
sure.
that on.
Right.
Don't say that on the internet.
Online right
Yeah.
now.
I know.
Please
Don't
put it on
cut
the
this
tape.
section out.
I
Everybody's got
think
a
we just get
price.
our cartoon
Mine is
versions as
way
Tasteful
cheaper
Nudes.
than that, but
Ooh.
$1 million seems reasonable.
Anyways, let's get it if you really love us.
You know what? Here, let's see if I can work this out.
Oh no.
If you really, 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 really love us, have one of your friends create a podcast where you have a character that becomes beloved, then have a child, you go missing, then come back, then have another child and go missing again, then come back again in an epic rebirth with your God at your side, and scream out to your listeners, tell everyone to listen to Hapless Heroes.
Whoa,
Welcome
you
back,
just did
James.
that.
He must really love us.
He must
Clearly,
He
Yeah.
must really love us.
I guess so.
Like Sally Field and the whole deal.
Oh,
To
I
be
forgot.
fair, when his character returned, he didn't
I got
tell
you,
anyone to
James.
listen to the Hapless Heroes.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I
That's
never
okay.
heard of her before, but I really believe that.
All right, folks. Well, at this point, there's nothing for us to do but outro our cast, and we'll go opposite field from the way we started. We've got the fabulous Felix Fizzlebottom, played by Francesco.
We had a great plan, guys.
And to his left, in his triumphant return, ex-brother Hoblet the Smasher, played by James.
Great being back, friendos.
To his left, Lord Jarrell the Light, played by John.
Until next time.
Let's see. I guess I said I was going left. So to his left, we have Hedrick the Entertainer, played by Phil.
All right, Hoblet. All right.
Oh.
Yes. And to his left, we have Boris the Butcher, played by Nicole.
I'm pretty sure I could have picked up that axe.
And to her left, we have Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind, Dean of the Southwind Academy, played by Mike.
That god really respected me.
And my name is Dave. I've been your host and Dungeon Master for this evening. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.